It's that time again, time for another Netflix original movie. Again, you're kind of worried what you're going to get, but there was a shining light behind Apostle. That shining light was Gareth Evans, a man whose movies I've genuinely loved. From his three Indonesian films, Merantau Warrior, The Raid and The Raid 2, I've kind of seen him grown as an action movie director, and I loved his style and the stories that he would tell. So I was really interested to see what he was going to do moving into sort of like English filmmaking, even though he is Welsh himself, by bringing in Dan Stevens and Michael Sheen as part of Apostle. It's a Netflix original movie, and I am glad to say it is one of the best ones I have ever seen. Now, the story is all about Dan Stevens' character, Thomas, who is a broken man at the start, and don't spend too much time with him. He gets thrown into the plot. His sister has been kidnapped by this cult that lives on an island, and he has to covertly insert himself into this cult and free his sister. That is the main plot of it, but there is so many other factions going on here that I really don't want to spoil too many of them for you by laying it out in front of you. So that is the base premise of the story, and it is such a good premise as well. So you have this cult of people who are living on an island. They have their own commune, their own rules. They have their prophet in the form of Michael Sheen, who has this stature about him. The man himself, whenever he's in a movie, he has this air and grace that just makes you sit up and take attention. So it's great casting to have him as this prophet Malcolm, the man who is preaching and teaching to this congregation that he has. They have been there for a large period of time, and Thomas infiltrates into this and starts to get the lay of the land, and through his eyes we see how everything functions on this commune and how everybody works together to create a somewhat happy family. But there is a darker underbelly of this movie that we slowly start to delve into. There is of course a supernatural element to this as well, something kind of weird and creepy, and it doesn't out and out say it right at the start, but through small images and moments it starts to layer up this atmosphere, as well as building up this really terrific sense of folk horror. It had me very much in the mind of something like The Wicker Man, but because of Gareth Evans' style, I feel as if it really elevates the story exponentially. Now the guy has done some amazing things in the action genre. Here he brings some of his really fluid, really nice camera work, his choice of angles, the way he chooses to tell his story, I think is some of the best filmmaking I have seen. And it's strange to see him just break free from the action movie genre into something else and just put down a huge marker, just letting everybody knows that he can do this as well as that, and I am sure that he could pretty much turn his hand to almost any genre at this moment and just elevate it. Dan Stevens is spectacularly good. This is last time I seen him as good as this was in The Guest. Michael Sheen is terrific as well, and you have all these actors working in this environment that has fantastic production value. You see all these houses, all the people in their garb. This is turn of the 19th century, and they look terrific. You have this sort of spy antics of how this man going into this commune and trying to get the lay of the land, trying to find who he can trust, who he can, if he can find out things about his sister, as well as all the politics that are going on around this commune as well. Then you have the supernatural element that really does give an answer later on, and at no point did it feel off or ill-fitting. It all felt like a happy, contained story. Everything is working in harmony, from the fantastic score that homages certain horror movies and has that kind of makeshift feel to it that really adds a lot to the horror. And there is a lot of horror in this movie, particularly body horror. It's more about the evil that men do, you know, the horrible antics that they can carry out on another human being, the horrible things that they are willing to do to somebody else out of sheer malice sometimes, or under the guise of some kind of deity. There is moments where Gareth Evans chooses to show little bits of gore and hold back and let your imagination take fold, or there is moments where he will just happily show you the blood and guts and gore and destruction of one person's body with sheer glee, and you're never quite sure what you're going to get, but whatever it is, it works. Apostle's one of the best things I've seen in Netflix in the longest while. From its music to its direction, its cinematography, as stunning as is with most of the movies nowadays. The choice of the director, the choice of his angles, the way he tells a story makes this feel really a lived in world and makes it feel like a really exciting story and kept me in the edge of my seat. I couldn't wait to see where it was going to go next. Like I said, I thought Apostle was a terrific movie. It's one of the best things I've seen on Netflix in the longest while, and it just captivated me. I loved the whole style, the substance, the storytelling. There wasn't anything that I felt let down on at all, which is rare to say these days in kind of movies. You know, you always find something that you can nitpick on. For me, this was a terrific gothic horror story about the evil that men do in the name of a god, and redemption and other things as well. It's a very rich movie rather than just being on the surface, you know, entertainment. It has more to it, and once I think about it and I let it digest a little bit in my head, I'm sure I'm going to love it even more than what I do. For me, just now, I think Apostle is an essential watch, especially this time of year. It's something you must check out. I think you guys are going to love it. I would love to know your thoughts. For me, I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5, one of the best Netflix movies I have seen in the longest while. So let me know in the comment box below your thoughts on Apostle, and I will see you next time on Man vs. Film.